And let me ask you something, in terms of revenue strategy, what did you do right off the bat to say, this is how I'm going to generate revenue? Was it a client-based business and you were like, I got to reach out and get clients? Did you reach out to your network for that?
Yeah, I didn't have the money to do any advertising or marketing, and I was, again, having such an expansive network, I was like, well, I know there's got to be someone out there who needs something, and I just need that one project to get me started.
Yeah, sure.
And it was my uncle's colleague. Her sister was having like a 40th birthday, and this woman wanted to do a surprise DVD for her. So it was so simple. I mean, for the first year I used iMovie to do all my stuff, because I didn't want to invest in Final Cut Pro.
Sure.
I bought a $700 camera that I bought at Best Buy, and I bought it on a payment plan where I would accrue no interest if I paid $20 every month. So just stuff like that.
Scrappy entrepreneur.
Absolutely. I did that one project, and I made. I think, figuring out what to charge people, that's also really difficult. Yeah. I think I got $200 for that project. I made $375 my first, 3 months of self-employment. But
you figured it out.
But I figured it out, yeah, absolutely. And so it's all been, I haven't spent anything on marketing, advertising, any money. It's been all just reaching out to people.
And now you do more. I mean, you do the digital media, like editing, stuff like that. You also throw events, mac and cheese, what is it, meetups? Or
Minglers, yeah.
Minglers, I love it. I love the branding, the names that you use. You do Dance Experiment, which is a completely different thing. So you've created at least 3 or 4 different businesses that generate revenue for you, and they're also things that you like.
Yes.
What tips can you give people as far as gaining that sweet spot? Because a lot of people, I mean, most of the friends that I talk to that are trying to leave their 9 to 5, they're thinking invest in real estate, stocks. They're just thinking about static elements because you don't think that the things that you love will make you money. You found a way to do that. What's that magic? How?
Well, I don't know. I think that.
Are you always looking for opportunity, in any? I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I made another list. I made a life to-do list, and that has a couple hundred things on it probably, and just random things like run a marathon or get better at public speaking, that type of thing.
Sure.
Become more British. That was my 2008 New Year's resolution. I don't even know what that means, but I failed at it. Being a Gap commercial. But anyway, so one of the things on it was I wanted to perform a hip hop dance routine, and I'm not a dancer at all. I have no rhythm, and from that, I decided, all right, perform a hip hop dance routine in front of a paying audience. I was like, and then I was, sitting there with my list. It's no one is going to pay just to see me by myself on stage. So I took that idea of mine and that goal of mine.
Was it a completely random idea?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, it came from when I saw Rent in college. Mimi does this one huge dance number, and I was like, I want to do that someday. So that's where it came from.
So you took that idea.
So I took that idea and I tweaked it. And I think that's what you have to do, is you find what you're passionate about. And if what you're passionate about it may not entice other people or interest other people just as is, so you might have to tweak it a little bit, but you're still doing what you love. So how I tweaked the hip-hop dance routine was, all right, well, I need to get other people involved. And again, I have this expansive network of people, and one thing I found in doing all the different events that I do is that people are hungry for non-traditional ways to meet other people and to make connections. So something other than the bar scene, something other than Match.com, something other than professional resume networking.
Exactly.
I'm in a suit and tie. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That just
now
doesn't,
we're friends.
Right. Yeah. And nothing ever comes out of it, and it's not genuine, and that whole first impression, you're just you're not being the person that you normally are. You're so worried about first impression. So I was like, all right, so I know all these people who enjoy making connections in non-traditional ways, and I have a lot of adventurous, spirited people in my network as well. So I sent out a mass email to maybe about 50 people who I thought would not laugh at my crazy idea and block me from there and put me in their spam filter. So the idea was Dance Experiment, which is I gathered 16 people who I knew all of them, but they didn't know each other. And the criteria was that they couldn't know each other, they couldn't dance, and they had to be scared to perform in front of other people. And then I hired a choreographer, and I mean, when I was interviewing this girls, I mean, I've never hired a choreographer before. I don't even, but I was like pretending, so how do you do plies? I don't even know what a plie is. So I hired a choreographer, then I rented out a dance studio, and again, I had no idea, I've never rented out a dance studio before, and she's asking me about mirrors and sound systems. I was like, I don't know, I just need a roof and a hardwood floor. And then for 3 months, we rehearsed for 4 hours a week. And at the end of the 3 months, we were going to do one show, but we sold out. We got such a good response that we did 2 shows, a Thursday and a Friday night performance. 350 people paid $17 each.
How did you? I mean, and these people that were doing this, they were just doing it for fun.
For fun, yeah, absolutely. Wow. And I was doing it for fun too. It wasn't a business idea.
Right.
And now I just actually had to send out rejection letters to Dance Experiment 2. I had 22 people that I said yes to, and I had about 30 people I had to turn down. And this time I'm not actually participating. My role is just as coordinator, but I put in a salary for myself. Like, I didn't get paid the last time because it was just something for fun. But and I had enough people that I could have done 2 at the same time. So.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah. So I think that, so to answer your question is just, finding something that you're passionate about and then tweaking it a little bit. The way I tweaked Dance Experiment was that I got a community together and involved in it, and not just the actual participants, but then there are all their friends and family, and then they told everybody. And actually another element that I didn't mention was, I teach digital media to low-income kids all over Chicago, and I'm really interested in bringing communities who normally wouldn't be together.
Right.
And so part of Dance Experiment, it's just so fun to see that. So part of Dance Experiment was I was teaching an after-school program with one of the other Dance Experiment participants, and we decided to teach the kids, and this is a low-income West Side school, and 3rd and 4th graders. We decided to teach the kids one of our dance routines. We were learning a Dance Experiment, and then I taught them how to shoot and edit using Final Cut Pro, and they made a music video of one of the dance routines that we were learning, and then we showed it at the performance. We had the premiere of the music video at the performance, and we rented a school bus and bussed the kids in, and the kids had never been to a theater before, and they got, behind the scenes tour. They got to go to the dressing room. They had like VIP on the little sign VIP on their seats. And
you basically took an idea that was a random idea, something that you desperately liked, that you wanted to do, that had no revenue potential in and of itself. You paired that with a network of people, and then with something else that you really like, and somehow now you've construed an actual business, like a profitable. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Congratulations to you. How important is it to have diversity in projects? I mean, a lot of people, that's something that entrepreneurs talk about too. Like, I got lots of different ideas, or how could I just do this one thing, or maybe this one thing can't pay all my income. It seems like you've got several things going. Is that important? Do you feel like that's an important element of what you do, having 4 or 5 projects running at one time?
Absolutely. I never necessarily thought that it was important, and when I was just doing video for the first 2 years, I guess I got that diversity through the different projects I was working on, whether a client was a real estate agent or an investment firm or a nonprofit. But then I realized that I wanted more interaction with people and collaboration as well. And so out of those desires, then I started thinking of other ways. And I do think it's important to have diversity in that. I mean, this is the hardest I've ever worked, and for 6 years, it's the hardest I've ever worked, but I don't feel like I've worked a day, and I think that says a lot. And there are Fridays that I'm so excited to stay in and not go out because I want to work on some creative project. And I think part of that is it's always changing. And people ask me, what does your day look like? There's been, I can't answer that. Like, I can't, every day is so different, and that's what's so exciting and keeps things interesting. And I think diversity is key. Absolutely.
So let me ask you, and this will be my last question about business related stuff, and then I'll just ask you what you're doing. But if you were talking to somebody right now, and maybe they were in the same position you were 7 years ago, they do not want to work for a boss, but they have no idea what the hell to do. What would be your advice to them? Like, if you could tell them 2 or 3 things, like, I should have done this, or I did do this and it worked out for me, what would those 2 or 3 pieces of advice to them be?
Sure. I definitely wouldn't recommend going about becoming an entrepreneur, becoming self-employed the way I did, as far as not having a job lined up, not having clients lined up, not having a job lined up, not having something lined up before I left, or I was let go from my 9-to-5 job, because it was just really, it was very stressful,
Sure,
financially. And, thank God for unemployment. I got unemployment that's what allowed me to stay afloat for a few months. And so what I would suggest would be, if you are considering, leaving the 9-to-5 world, is to, while you have the stress-free mindset of, you have health insurance and you have a paycheck every 2 weeks, to start building a client base, or start, getting the word out there.
And having a side hustle, Pam Slim calls it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And, obviously it can be done the way I did it. It's just, it was really hard to do that. And I think I'm lucky in a lot of senses that it worked out the way it did.
Do you think lists it would be one of those things, like create a list?
Create a list, absolutely. Create lists, put it out in the universe what it is that you want, and do not think, oh, this is so silly, I can't put that down, or that's ridiculous. And don't listen to naysayers, and that's a huge thing in my life. I do not I surround myself with positive people. Yeah. I have no time, or I can't be around people who say I can't, or you can't, or cliche, life is too short, but it's true. So making lists, and then not only make lists, but once you feel comfortable in your lists, start sharing them with other people, because it'll hold you accountable. Once you start sharing, I have this crazy list of, here's the 15 things of, criteria of my ideal job, people will start asking you about it. Yeah. And that's going to make you be proactive and productive, and you can't sit and eat bonbons and watch Oprah all day, because you have people asking. I mean,
you have people looking at you.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you? What's going on in 2011? What are we going to see from Mac and Cheese Productions?
2011. All right. Well, my big thing now is I would really like to. My ratio as far as like income goes is, I have my digital media, which is shooting, editing, and teaching, is here, and my events is kind of here. So it's not equal as far as where my income is coming from, and I would really like to make it more equitable. Yeah, 50-50. I love these events, and they're all accidental. Everything, all the events, and they're not even just events. I have an e-newsletter that just started out as, this random person might be interested in this job opportunity, or this person might be interested in this mechanic referral, then I realize I'm sure a lot of people would be interested. So instead of just sending it to individual people, amass it all, and then every 2 weeks send it out to everybody that I know, and that's become a stream of revenue for me as well.
So funny. Yeah, I read that in your thing today, and I'm like, God, you are seriously, you have something together, because you have this knack for figuring out all these little things, and you're generating revenue now from how many different sources?
Let's see. So the Minglers, my e-newsletter, teaching, shooting, producing, my special events. I think that's it. Is that it? 5, maybe? Yeah,
so,
I guess.
I think that says it all there.
And they're all fun things. And I think the thread, as far as the events that I do and the bringing communities together, is the thread is bringing people together in non-traditional ways, and just making it more accessible and fun and comfortable to make connections and meet people. Where you're not like I was saying before, you're not stressed out about I have to make this great first impression, and that's why I tell when people come to the Minglers, I'm like, do not dress up, don't wear makeup, no high heels. None of that.
Where can people find you? Like, where can they find you on the Twitters and if they want to look for you and all that?
Sure. Well, my website is macandcheeseproductions.com, and that's Mac with the letter N and cheese productions.com, and Twitter is at Saya Hillman, or not at Twitter site, Saya Hillman, and
we all say that, don't we? I always put that out in front of it.
And then I also have a blog called The Mac and Cheese Lifestyle, so you can just Google that.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good luck with the project.
Thanks.